Hey guys, just for fun, I figured I'd kind of take you guys with me. I got the leg up over here. I know you can't necessarily see it, but I'm in the park. Um, and I was kind of reading out loud while I'm editing some of my stuff. So that's kind of a cool thing. I thought I would maybe bring you guys in on that. Maybe I'll clean this up. Maybe I'll leave it as one full version. But since I'm talking out loud and I'm refining it and I'm evolving the writing and I'm turning it into something that's usable, I wanted you guys to kind of feel that process, go through it with me, because it's kind of cool. And I kind of want to express my internal world, and I'm already doing it. So I figured I'd just get the camera out and let you guys kind of go with me. So I'm actually going to start from the top of this one. This is one of my favorite stories that I've built so far. It's from something that I observed in my own garden with kittens. So I think it's kind of cool, but it relates it back to the Bible, and relates it to the Garden of Eden in a way that, or Garden of Eden, sorry, that I thought did a really good job of like pulling out some of the lessons, seeing it from a different angle, and kind of seeing it maybe from God's eyes, which I think is kind of cool. But it's a story, and it's kind of my interpretation of it, so I think it's cool in that way, and I think it'll open up some people's eyes. So without further ado, without over-explaining it and giving it away, why don't you guys come in here, work with me. I'll talk out loud. You might get some pauses in here. That's just the way that I work. But I call this, so far, the Garden of Eden. I'm trying to talk so fast. The Garden of Eden, expressed through kittens in a garden. I will get better at this. I'm trying to do something for the first time, so I'm sorry. Okay, but let's get into it. So I was reading out loud. I got pretty far, so I'm just gonna kind of catch you guys up, let you guys hear it. Ever thought about why we were kicked out of the Garden of Eden? I've been thinking lately about the story of Adam and Eve from more of a practical storytelling lens that serves as more of an emotional blueprint. Let me fix that. Maybe even a metaphor. And I think I best understood it while I was watching my kittens playing in the backyard. There's something in it that I never fully understood until recently, until I watched them grow up on my property over time. They were born here innocent, wild, but safe. I gave them shelter, food, and safety, everything they needed to live a good life. They didn't have to worry about survival. They had the freedom to play, explore, nap in the sun, and just exist. Don't we all want something like that? I knew the dangers beyond the fence and property lines. Cars, predators, exposure, disease. You name it, I mostly understood it. So I wanted them to stay close, stay safe, to trust that what I set up for them here was good enough and all they'd ever need. They wouldn't need to stray anywhere else. But cats are curious creatures, and they started to wander. I think we're just starting to catch up to where I was actually starting to refine this on my maybe second or third pass on this. So it's going to be a little choppy. You're going to get into the writing process with me here. So kind of expect there to be some clunkiness. I'm going to work that out with you and talk out loud as I'm kind of trying to find the right words and everything. You know what I mean? This is kind of part of the polishing process. You kind of have to refine it a few times. And if you're a writer, you're going to understand this process. I'm just getting into it. And I've been a writer for a long time, but not quite at this level. So that being said, you're going to kind of feel the process happening. I'm going to be bringing the external world that I would otherwise be saying on the inside. I'm just bringing it out for all of you guys to kind of see the work in progress and what it takes to make good writing. You know, I won't put myself up on a pedestal here, but it's pretty good stuff. So at least I think it is anyways. Okay, so, but cats are curious creatures, and they started to wander. Curiosity was pulling them toward the edge of the world I'd built for them. And watching them beginning to want to leave hit me in a strange way. Not just because I worried about them, but because part of me took it personally. It felt like a rejection of the good I'd created for them. A quiet slap in my face, as if they were saying, "This isn't good enough. What else is out there?" And yet a part of me knew they needed to go. Maybe they had to experience the world for themselves. Maybe they needed to find out the hard way just how rare it is to have a space like this and someone that genuinely cares for them. Maybe not perfectly, but in a way that was real. Maybe one day they'd come back, not just as wanderers, but with awareness and weathered wisdom that made them want to stay. Okay, we're saying too much here, a little too wordy. Let's think about how we can shape this up here. Maybe one day they'd want to come, not just as wanderers, but with awareness and weathered wisdom that made them want to stay rather than run away again. Not just to exist here, but to appreciate it. To play again in the garden I built for them with the kind of gratitude that only comes from losing something good and finding your way back to it. Okay, we're saying the same thing in practically 3 different ways here. So I need to find a good way to condense that down a little bit. Let me read it one more time. Sorry I'm repeating. I know that could maybe get annoying for you guys, but this is part of the process. Maybe one day they'd come back, not just as wanderers, but with awareness and weathered wisdom that made them want to stay rather than run away again. Not just to exist here, but to appreciate it. To play again in the garden I built for them with the kind of gratitude that only comes from losing something good and finding your way back to it. There's a lot of good built into that. I just got to pick one line that says all of that. How about we get rid of not just to exist here? How does this sound now? Maybe one day they'd come back, not just as wanderers, but with, this is a mouthful too, but with awareness and weathered wisdom. But with experience that made them realize what they had and want to stay rather than run away again. I think we're getting closer here. And I think I like the way that it ends too. To play again in the garden I built for them with the kind of gratitude that only comes from losing something good and finding your way back to it. I think that works. Okay, let's take it from the top. Let's read the whole paragraph, see how it feels. Maybe they had to experience the world for themselves. Maybe they needed to find out the hard way just how rare it is to have a space like this and someone that genuinely cares for them. Maybe not perfectly, but in a way that was real. Maybe one day they'd come back, not just as wanderers, but with experience that made them realize what they had and actually want to stay rather than run away again. To play again in the garden I built for them with the kind of gratitude that only comes from losing something good and finding your way back to it. I think that works much better. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see what else we got here. That's when the Adam and Eve story hit different. I don't claim to understand God. His wisdom is infinite as far as I can tell. Mine isn't. But in that moment, I felt the emotional core of the story. Not as a tale of punishment, but of heartache. Of a creator who gave everything only to watch it get questioned, abandoned, and misunderstood because I wasn't able to speak the same language as my feline companions. And I think that that's where that's where it kind of connects or bridges back to the actual metaphor or the Adam Eve story itself. So I kind of like that because this is kind of making it more human for us to kind of grasp the wisdom that's there. I'm kind of grounding the wisdom that I think is there, or I'm really opening up that story and giving it kind of a full body. I don't think you'll find that in the story itself when you read the Bible. You could. I mean, this is a lens, right? I'm giving you a lens of kind of something practical that I've seen in real life that relates it back. And I feel like I'm over-explaining and like spoiling this, but I think this is kind of a part of what I want to do is kind of elaborate the work a little bit and show you guys kind of what I'm doing. Okay, I don't want to spoil any more. We're at about 10 minutes. I just wanted to let you guys inside and kind of feel what it's like to kind of be a writer and really care about your work and actually go through the process and share some of that. Making what is otherwise something you don't see when a writer is working, and kind of bringing it out and showing you guys some of that process, and getting you guys involved and seeing like what's involved there. And I have polished this a few times, so just understand that for most writers on their first pass, second pass, third pass, fourth pass, it's really refining a lot of the clunkiness. It's hard going. You're kind of getting a nice flow here because this is an almost finished product here. So it's easy for me to get through this quickly and kind of show you what's going on. But don't forget, this is like the third or fourth time of me going through it and ironing that out. At first, it's just some raw thought, and then it gets kind of sculpted into something. So you can kind of see that process. Okay, that's all I got for you guys on this one. If you want to read more, check out my Medium, The Spiritual Big Brother, and just go to medium.com. I'm sure I'll have this in my bio or in my profile, so totally check that out too. If you like this kind of work, I'm working on moving in a way that you guys can help support me, and so that I can keep creating stories like this and keep doing this. I love doing this, and I want to do this for a living for the rest of my life. I have got so many different stories to share, so I don't want to get too much into that. We're going to move into that in the future. I'm sure I'll have that in my bio and in other places. Don't feel obligated to by any means. Just know that in order to do this, it's really hard to do that because, I mean, even now, I am parked in a park, trying to run away from the reality that I'm in all the time to be able to do this. And, it's hard, is all I'm going to say. And I think it's hard for anybody doing this, but I've been doing it for a long time. So I'm at that point where I want to make this a reality for myself. And I'm never going to give up on it. Even if it never becomes a reality that sustains me in any way and it's just a hobby on the side, so be it. I'm never going to stop doing this, but I would love this to turn into something. Okay, that being said, I hope that this has been cool and helpful maybe too. But yeah, check out this story. What did I say that it was? Garden of Evil. Why do I keep wanting to say that? Garden of Eden. Try to talk too fast. Expressed through kittens in a garden. And that'll probably be the title or something like that. So totally check out my Medium. And don't forget to like and subscribe anywhere you can. That is helpful. So thanks, guys. I'll catch you guys on the next one.